Danger Dolan. From being trapped in a tight place to having your naked body scrutinized, we count 15 of the most common nightmares.
Number 15.
Spiders. Many of us find spiders terrifying in waking life. I mean, poisonous fangs, sticky webs for immobilizing prey, and all those hairy legs just waiting to crawl all over you. It's not surprising our fear of arachnids follows us when we go to sleep. But spiders in our dreams are more than just a literal scary presence. They're said to represent controlling forces that have come into your life. They're a primitive, symbolic dream that is said to be our subconscious's way of dealing with manipulation. For men, spiders often symbolize difficult relationships with women, usually bosses, wives, or mothers. For women, spiders can represent oppressive male figures, such as brothers, fathers, or even lovers. Regularly stalked by dream spiders, it might be worth looking at your relationships.
Number 14.
Injury or malformation. People who dream of being injured or wounded often feel weak in their personal lives. If your dream self suffers painful bone-breaking accidents or wakes up with horrible scars or deformities, it could mean your brain is trying to alert you to some vulnerability that needs addressing. Broken limbs are symbolic of other broken aspects in your life. It can mean you're feeling powerless or suffering low self-esteem. Maybe you need to find financial independence or make amends with someone. You'd think that if your brain had something important to tell you, it would do it without being so damn cryptic. But no, if you want to sort your life out, you must solve this 5-part dream riddle.
Number 13.
Drowning has got to be one of the worst ways to die. Being trapped underwater, watching helplessly as your life force slips away, couldn't think of anything worse. Often a drowning person will panic, which exacerbates the problem, causing them to waste precious oxygen. It's not surprising then that drowning in a dream can mean you're feeling overwhelmed by your emotions. Since life can be a lot like that cruel mistress, the ocean, drowning dreams can also represent putting all possible efforts into something and receiving nothing in return. Some drowning dreams are easier to interpret, some represent a simple fear of water.
Number 12.
Losing teeth is another dream that signifies how riddled with insecurities we are. This dream is extremely common in cultures all over the world. It usually means we're anxious about others judging us. Freud thought losing teeth meant a person was sexually repressed or desired to be nurtured. But that's Freud's go-to diagnosis. He won't be happy until everyone's openly in love with their own mothers. Having teeth fall out or crumble can also represent financial worries, issues with vanity and rebirth, like how losing your milk teeth makes way for your new and improved adult teeth. No one's nailed down a definitive meaning for this very common dream.
Number 11.
Falling. Nightmares about falling often represent relationship or careers issues. They're especially common for people in positions of power like employers, parents, or role models, and are said to be our mind's way of working through abuse or emotional trauma. Some argue that falling dreams are primal remnants, evolutionary leftovers from our primate phase. That horrible feeling dreamers experience right before plummeting to the ground, that terminal velocity, represents a negative occurrence in your life. Sometimes it's intense enough to physically wake you or bolt you upright. Fortunately, that rumor about dying in real life if you hit the ground in a dream is untrue, unless Freddy Krueger pushes you off a cliff. Then you're gonna die.
Number 10.
Being naked in public. You know those dreams where you're strolling happily around your school grounds until someone points out that you're stark freaking naked and everyone can see your bits? Somehow it always comes as a revelation. All this time you didn't look down or notice the cold. This common nightmare relates to self-image. Freaking out about being an accidental exhibitionist reflects vulnerability or a sense of shame. You may be hiding something, a dead body in the backyard for instance, and are afraid others can see right through you. In these dreams, clothes are basically a metaphor for concealment. Of course, if you're a nudist, goody two-shoes, this nightmare won't affect you. You'll be comfortable with people seeing and knowing everything about you. Honest bastards. Feel some shame like the rest of us.
Number 9.
Your partner leaving. Nightmares about losing your significant other are the most rooted in reality. That's not to say you won't wake up nude one day in public with a deformed body and no teeth, but being left by your partner is more likely, especially if you keep leaving the toilet seat up. This type of nightmare often signifies feelings of insecurity within your relationship. If you're a slob who's punching above his weight, or your loved one has cheated on you 35 times but swears they won't do it again, then you're probably intimately familiar with this dream. This nightmare isn't always irrational. If you subconsciously suspect infidelity, this could be how your suspicions manifest. For many, this dream is an alarm mechanism that keeps us attentive and precautious. It also represents one of the deepest human fears, abandonment.
Number 8.
Dying. Dreams that end in death are common, but shouldn't be necessarily taken literally or considered bad omens. Although morbid, they often represent rebirth or new beginnings. Dreaming of tombs or graves can signify that an old part of you has ceased to exist. Nightmares about death can be your subconscious's way of accepting mortality. So don't worry about dying in your dreams. It's virtually meaningless, like dying in a modern video game.
Number 7.
Being lost. Experts believe dreams about becoming lost are our brain's way of processing feelings of confusion or frustration. Although nightmares are usually rife with hidden meanings and symbolism, in this instance a spade is usually just a spade. Getting lost in a dream represents internal concerns that need addressing. It might be time to make some significant changes. Ultimately, dreams of being lost can't harm you. Besides, if you're a lucid dreamer, you can just pull out your dream iPhone and find your way using Dream GPS.
Number 6.
Being chased. Nightmares where we're chased or attacked often manifest when we're afraid of confrontation in our waking lives. You might have a pushy boss or a critical parent. Often your dream actions while being chased reflect your real life habits. For example, hiding in fear in the dream may indicate that you are avoiding dealing with your problems in the real world. There's always a correlation. Random dream shit never just happens for the sake of it. Unless you have cheese before bed, that shit has tyramine in it, which will definitely cause some wacky dreams.
Number 5.
Apocalypse scenarios. Apocalyptic dreams where an asteroid destroys the earth or a violent hurricane rips apart your neighborhood often indicate anxiety or impending fear. Weather, like life, is often unpredictable and cannot be controlled, which causes what the French called les stress. This type of nightmare often indicates a looming disaster in your waking life. You might have an upcoming test that you're not prepared for, or you're putting off going to the doctor even though that weird lump in your body has grown so big it's now talking to you. Although these dreams generally mean you're under tremendous amounts of stress, there is one upside if you're a writer who keeps a dream journal. Try mining your dreams for details to write a kick-ass post-apocalyptic story. Everyone loves those.
Number 4.
Nightmares about missing important dates like your wedding or brain surgery appointment are common for people with fast-paced, high-pressure lives. Since the modern world is stressful as balls, this is pretty much everyone. Often these dreams are linked to worries we're not meeting others' expectations, or they're signs we need to better manage our time. I wish these dreams were more literal. Like no one could misinterpret them if they involve being chased up the street by a giant anthropomorphic clock.
Number 3.
Seeing the dead. This chilling type of nightmare is often associated with an inability to let go or accept change. Dreamers who experience it might encounter someone they know who has recently passed away, or they might be haunted by the ghosts of random strangers. Either way, these nightmares usually signify a fear of the unknown. Sometimes they occur when the dreamer is anxious about personal illness. There have been many cases of terminal illness sufferers being contacted by apparitions in this way.
Number 2.
Monsters. Coming face to face with a monster or terrifying creature in your dream can represent a number of things. It can mean you need to up your meds again, or it can represent a loss of control or fear of something on the horizon. For career-oriented people, monster dreams could represent spiraling work commitments that have been neglected out of fear. Since monsters are creatures of imagination, dreaming about them could indicate the dreamer is dealing with something they don't understand or want to face. Things like the monster's size, color, and temperament all affect the dream's interpretation. No matter what this dream means, it is generally taken as a sign that something needs to be addressed to restore order.
Number 1.
Dreams about being trapped or unable to move are common for sufferers of claustrophobic anxiety, a condition involving a fear of confined spaces. This nightmare has a pretty straightforward metaphor. It's commonly experienced by people who are trapped in their current situation, whether it be financial problems, a dead-end job, or a crappy relationship. It can also be a manifestation of the fear of not being able to reach our full potential due to circumstances beyond our control. If your dream involves being literally trapped in a box, this could be a subconscious's way of telling you to think outside the box every once in a while in real life. Or, it could mean you should stop sleeping in coffins. That shit isn't good for your back. That's it for this countdown. And have a good one!